Hey there everyone, hope you're all doing well and hope December is treating you well, because 2016 is almost over and boy is it going off in an interesting way. I wanted to talk about something on YouTube primarily right here that has been going on. I'm sure everyone is quite aware of this now because big YouTubers like PewDiePie, Jacksepticeye, H3H3 have been involved or been talking about this. There's also been the Game Grumps who have, they've made mentions. There's also, there's lots of bigger name YouTubers who are speaking out about this. And while that's really good, and they should be talking about this because they are the voices that we hear most. Well, we should be hearing most loudly on YouTube, and that also corresponds to what I'm about to talk about. And I just wanted to talk from the perspective of a fangirl, or from my perspective of being a YouTube fangirl, having watched and dedicated a lot of my life to watching YouTube, to YouTubers, to following, the community. The YouTube community and seeing how it's evolved, how it's progressed, a few shitty things that have happened here and there, and we've learned from those, we moved on from them, changes that have constantly been happening to YouTube, some for the better, some less so. But I wanted to discuss why, or more so discuss kind of what's happening, because I go on Tumblr, I go on Twitter, I go on a bunch of social media sites, and one thing I notice, this doesn't happen a lot, thankfully, but one thing I do notice is that so many people are asking the question that they're asking, why should I care about this? Why should I care about what this new... Now see, we don't even know if it's the policy that changed or the algorithm? Sorry if I'm saying that incorrectly. I don't use that word a lot, unfortunately. But anyway, something's changed on YouTube, and it's affecting everyone. But mostly viewers, like just casual viewers, are asking the question, why should I care about this? And not just because PewDiePie has come up and said when he hits 50 million subscribers, he's shutting down his channel. That's obviously a really big thing. It'll be very sad. I can understand why he's doing it, but I mean, that was one of the moments. That was one of the things that actually made people listen to what he was saying. Was him not threatening, because I believe he will do it. And again, I can comprehend why he would deactivate his channel. It's going to be a major loss for YouTube, and I'm just thinking of all the videos that all his fans are able to go back and watch, and the reaction compilations and everything, and those will all be lost, and that's a tragedy on YouTube itself, in my opinion. But we're getting ahead of ourselves. What has been happening on YouTube is... See, I'm trying to explain it, or find a way to explain it in a way that doesn't sound like we're just whining about, oh, it's another change. And to be fair, this has been happening frequently. Every time YouTube does something, there's a bit of an uproar, changes even the smallest thing. And of course, we adapt, we move on, and then something else changes. And that seems to be, that cycle happens a lot with YouTube. And so we end up coming off as whiny. It's not one of those things, though. This new change, if it is a change, we still don't actually know whether or not this was purposely changed or manufactured to be as aggressive as it is. We actually don't have the answers. YouTube is saying it's not on their side, or it's not something that it's come from their side. It's actually from the YouTubers or the creative content makers themselves. It's a fault on their part. But it could be that maybe they are denying responsibility for the change that's been happening, or maybe it's a bug. We actually don't know, and a lot of people seem to be ready to jump the gun and like jump YouTube and saying, oh, it's all your fault. It could be out of their hands, or it could be something that they weren't actually actively aware of. It could have been, and might have been, a small update that became bigger than they actually foresaw. This change could very much affect the future of YouTube and where it goes from here, and the quality content, or the content in general, that YouTube produces and contains. And that is very much of a reason why, even if you're not a small YouTuber, whether you're a big YouTuber, whether you're just a casual viewer, or just a fan of YouTube in general, and a fan of the community, like you enjoy coming in every now and then, why this change affects you too. Because a lot of people, a fair amount of people I should say, it's not fair to say a lot, but a fair amount of people don't seem to understand why should they care about this change, and just seem to think that it's a bunch of, again, in the case of PewDiePie, already well-off YouTubers who are complaining about another change again that could minorly affect them. It's not just that, and I think it's something we need to sit down and discuss, and I'm going to try to do that right here, right now. So basically, YouTube changed their algorithm, and they seem to be promoting channels and videos now based on likes and comments, for the more engagement acts rather than the actual content or the quality of the content of the video itself. To put it simply, YouTube changed the way that people are suggested videos, like in the recommendation box or on the sidebar. So now YouTube suggests not videos made by people you subscribe to, or channels or YouTubers, content creators that you want to support, but it just seems to recommend trending stuff now. That seems to be how YouTube is prioritizing what should be watched or what should be promoted on YouTube now, which isn't good. It's just, yeah, there's also been a lot of clickbait videos as well in the suggested videos that make absolutely no sense or don't correlate with any of the content you really want to watch, but because it's trending, they kind of push it towards you. And again, there's nothing wrong against viral videos, but it seems, you see, what was great about YouTube is that it created the whole YouTuber community. It became a community in itself. It became something inspirational for the watchers, and you got to support some person that you may never meet, but you liked what they did. You wanted to support these people in your own way, and so you could show that by subscribing. You can help build them up. And the recent changes to YouTube's algorithm means that only trending stuff, only clickbait, scams, anything to get all the views, or get as many views, get as many comments, get as many likes, and dislikes count as well in this purpose. So a video could get more dislikes than likes, and it will still appear in the trending area. And decent content is now being shoved like to the bottom of the recommendation pile. For small YouTubers who rely on YouTube for their living expenses, it's their bread and butter, it's their general income, and they just make enough as it is. To suddenly lose between 30 to 60%, again, I don't know the exact statistics, but between 30 to 60% of their views means that they lose a considerable amount of their income. In general, there are YouTubers who were just making enough, and now they're finding they aren't, and they have to make a choice between striving to try and keep making quality content, or the content that they're known for their viewers, for themselves, for YouTube, and to make their mark, to make their little impression in YouTube, wherever whatever niche or nook that might be. They're finding they can't do that anymore because they can't sustain themselves. They bet on YouTube. They've bet that they can go further. They believe in themselves. They believe in their subscribers, in the community. They believed in YouTube. And now this is kind of slapping them in the face, saying, sorry, no, we can't support you anymore, or YouTube won't support you anymore. And that's devastating in itself. It's also hard to come off from that, because some people have worked for years on their channel to get where they are now and to make that whatever sum it is that they have. This new algorithm system is hurting YouTubers, maybe not big YouTubers yet, but it's definitely hurting smaller channels. It's definitely hurting up-and-coming YouTubers, like people who have been inspired by bigger YouTubers who've wanted to follow the YouTube dream, so to speak. It's a nice thought that you could be recognized, you could be noticed for doing something fun, something you like, and making money off of it, and by doing videos. And again, it could be videos of just whatever inspires you, whatever makes your life a little lighter, makes it more fulfilled. And that's such a beautiful thing. That was a beautiful thing that YouTube offered to people, is that it gave you a chance to be noticed, and it gave others a chance to support you from the sidelines. And this is another thing with this, with the new algorithm, is that it seems to be doing a very aggressive, what is the word? Sweep? It's reaping. It's reaping a lot of subscribers from channels. And people are starting to freak out over this. This isn't actually anything new. I do believe this is like the reaping system has been in effect for quite a while, and it was YouTube always put it in effect to sweep out the bot subscriptions, the outdated subscriptions as well, just so that YouTubers were, no matter how big or small your channel was, you got a more or less accurate general idea on how many, like, what your stats were like. So that was something that always went, like, that's always been in effect, I think. And I remember in July there was a big blow up because suddenly people were losing thousands, millions of subscribers. They were losing, maybe not millions, but I think they ended up explaining, and it was because that the reaping system they already had in place stopped for some reason. It stopped. It wasn't in effect anymore. So when YouTube finally caught up with that, they had to reset it, and suddenly it had a couple months worth of reaping to do. So that's why suddenly there was a plummet in numbers, and everyone started freaking out, like, oh my god, YouTube is fucked up again. So yeah, the reaping has always been in effect. It cycles, and it again, it's just it's help clean out the subscribers that are no longer there. And it could be tedious at times because there could be small channels that you want to support. You may not watch their videos a whole lot, but you just want to support them from afar. You want to show that, you know, you like what they do according to the system. Because you don't watch their videos often enough, it deactivates you. And that can be a nuisance. And that's what's happening right now, is that system seems to be a lot more aggressive. And YouTubers, smaller YouTubers or people who don't upload as regularly, like once a day or whatever, are finding that they're actually being punished when they do upload. They're losing subscribers rather than gaining them. This new change is almost a slap in the face to them, because now they are finding that they can't meet those expectations, and that means a lot of people sad, including casual viewers or casual subscribers, or even hardcore fans especially, but the people who wanted to support them. And it's almost a letdown from that perspective, from the perspective of a viewer, because viewers hold so much influence, they have so much power on YouTube. And I'm not saying that YouTubers should praise us all the time. A lot of the times they thank us anyway, because they recognize that without without the community on YouTube, the subscribers, the fans, the followers, the people who have been supporting them for even a short period of time or since they began, they wouldn't be around to the same extent if it weren't for the viewing community, the subscribers, the fan community. And so yeah, pat on the back for us. Again, I'm not saying YouTube revolves around us. It would be nothing without us. It's a two-way street, the fans and the YouTubers. It's a two-way street. It's a give and take kind of exchange. Again, it's going to start out with smaller YouTubers, but again, if things aren't really changed, it could start affecting bigger YouTubers as well. For what content is going to be produced now on their website and is looking like, again, clickbaits and scams, and it's just anyone doing anything for the attention, anything for the views, anything for the likes, dislikes even, but anything to become the #1 trending thing. That's not... See, I like to believe that's not what YouTube is about. I like to believe in the sharing community, the closeness that we have, that YouTube has built, that YouTubers have built from the ground up and inspired smaller channels to follow their steps, to believe in yourself, to believe in what you do, and see the support of other people who like your animations, your tutorials, whatever it may be, and want to support you in some small way. It's going to become hard for that. And again, as I mentioned before, for small YouTubers, people who are really just struggling to get by on YouTube and trying to make not so much a living out of it, but a life out of it, to enjoy it to the fullest extent that they can or they could. It's already a really, really harsh competitive field out there. It's already hard to work your way up because the competition is tough. There's so many people who want to be the next biggest thing. Not that there's anything wrong with that, but because of that, on top of this new change, it's going to promote some less than savory tactics to try and get to #1. And honestly, I would like to believe that's not what YouTube is about, or what it has been working towards becoming. I believe that YouTube is more towards the content and supporting each other, so to speak. Supporting being creative, being yourself, sharing your life, sharing what you love to do with other people who support you, who want to be there for you. And this new system is just going to, if it's not changed, or if it's really not addressed, it could screw over a lot of people. It could kill a lot of those dreams. It could kill a lot of those people who have worked so hard. With the new changes, people are going to lose a lot of support. People are going to have to leave YouTube and maybe for other options, or just give up their dreams altogether. And if that's not sad enough, to quote PewDiePie in his latest video, if they make it harder for those people, for creative content creators, then that personality, as PewDiePie mentioned, is going to leave YouTube. They're going to move on to another platform altogether and either try there, or sadder still, they might give up altogether. As someone who's been watching YouTube for, God, 6-7 years now, something like that. It's been a while. I've grown up watching so many of these guys, so many of these people grow up the way they have, and I just feel extremely sad about that. I feel extremely sad thinking about all the smaller channels who are working their way up, who are have so much talent, and they're being pushed aside. They're being buried under scams, under clickbait, under the louder voices. And it just makes me sad that YouTube, I don't know, it's almost like the new system prioritizes memes and viral videos now, rather than content, rather than the community, rather than the people in it. And that's sad. There's a lot of things that are sad in this. Small big YouTubers, they become people we've become friends with. In that way, we become a community. But we become a community that does meetups, has done great, incredible things. Because of one person inspired us. Because their actions, or whether it's something that they did that inspired us to be truer to ourselves, to take more chances, to try to embrace our quirkiness, try to embrace who we are, and then have other people we don't even know, people we might never meet, want to support that or see something familiar in that, and want to tell you that, you know what, I like what you're doing, keep it up. But if you start turning into the Hunger Games, so to speak, and people have to start relying on shitty tactics and just less than savory tactics to get ahead, because that's not what YouTube should ever be about, is just getting ahead, crawling your way up towards the top. That, I don't think anyone really wants that. It's, again, I say, it's hard enough because everyone's come to realize that you can create a channel, and it's hard work. Some people aren't willing to put in all that hard work and realize maybe it's not for them. But people with a passion, people with a dream, they work so hard, and it's hard enough as it is without this new algorithm system, this new change. Yeah, YouTube should never be about competition, ever. At least not the YouTube that I've come to believe in. I've watched grow from originally what it was, it's just a video hosting website, to, again, I call this a community rather than a fan base, because that's what I'd like to believe it is. It's fan base as well, definitely, but it could be a community of people, and it can be 7 ways to hell, obviously, because that's just the way the internet is, unfortunately. But it can be such a great place, and meet so many people, and be inspired by so many things, learn new things too. I kind of want it to go back to that. I mean, if this change sticks, I don't know, man. Why should you care? Because it also affects you. It affects what you're going to be. It affects YouTube as you know it, or as you have been able to enjoy it. It affects big YouTubers. It definitely affects small YouTubers in drastic ways, and that's going to be the first. That's going to be the first thing to go if the system doesn't really change. YouTube is going to be a video hosting website again, instead of a creator community that it has become. That's why you should care. That's why if you really are a fan of YouTube, if you're really part of the community, even, again, if you're just a casual viewer, but there are some channels here and there, or there's some people that you like watching their stuff every now and then, maybe not all the time, but you like watching their stuff every now and then, you like seeing them, it's familiar. That could very, very, very possibly all go away. That could all very easily change. And that, dear viewer, is why you should care about these changes.